Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Have I got a good video for you? However, this is like the 5th or 6th time that I've tried to shoot it because I keep slipping up and saying something that I'm not really supposed to say, but it's hard to beat around that bush here on YouTube. So I'm going to start over and let's see if I can get it right this time. And people can read between the lines a little bit. I'm learning what not to say. I've done videos and all of a sudden I say the wrong thing and bam, it's crazy. 20 views. So with that being said, I got a good video though for us today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about timeline and when the system starts really breaking down. I mean, it's already breaking down now. That's why we're seeing the price of gold and silver go up. What do you think caused that spike in gold from 2,000 all the way to 2,400 roughly, 2,440? What do you think caused that? And then, you know, some people might say, oh, no, that's China that caused that. And it is. But why? Why did it jump up all at once? You know, so what my question to you is, and what we're going to talk about today is when stuff really does start to fall apart, it falls apart slow at first and then all at once. Well, what is all at once? How quick is it going to collapse when that happens? And a bunch of people have asked me, what is Operation Sandman? You had touched up on it in yesterday's video. I'm curious just what it is. And I left a couple comments explaining what it was. But the easiest way to do it is just bring it up in today's video. And it kind of does add to it because what's happening right now is not just a slow erosion of your wealth in the form of printing money, but it's also other countries preparing for what they know is coming. Now, some of them just can see the writing on the wall. Us YouTubers, or the majority of the people that talk about this topic and topics similar to this, we see the writing on the wall. We see the trend. The dollar is continuing to lose value slowly but surely. And as it continues to lose value, it's going to get worse. Because right now, there's not really a lot of people that believe what's going on. You know, the mainstream media tells us, nah, the economy's great. Things are good. Look at the stock market. How long has it been since we've even seen a 2% loss in one day? Things are great. You know, but what's really happening behind the lines? Because you go to the grocery store, $100 doesn't buy you much now. I got a comment today that, can you remember when $100 bought you your groceries, your gas, and then you could still go out to eat that night? Don't buy you that nowadays. I personally don't remember that, but I do remember when I could get a lot for $100. I mean, I'm fairly young, but you know, the dollar is losing value faster and faster. And I'll be honest, when I was married, I didn't really go to the grocery store. I know when I was a kid, milk was 99 cents. And when I lived alone, after I separated and lived by myself and went to the grocery store and milk was $3.99 a gallon, I was like, what? You know, so it's kind of funny because, you know, when you're married, you may just kick your money up and somebody else does the grocery shopping. And really, I didn't go to the grocery store a whole lot because that wasn't my cup of tea. So, you know, you realize that prices are going up, but people don't really understand the full scope and how fast it can all of a sudden shoot up. You know, so Operation Sandman, for those that don't know, is an agreement amongst over 100 countries now where people are upset at us. They're upset at us trying to push our freedom and our ways onto their countries. They're tired of it. And the U.S. and its citizens see the prices are going up and we're getting upset and we blame everybody else. Whose fault is it that everything's going up? Now, those in the community here probably know, if I give you 1 minute to think about, you know, whose fault is it? Who is to blame for higher prices? Who is to blame for everything going on, really? The economy, the way things are. I have my answer. It may not all be the same, but I believe it stems back to one common thing: the Fed. The Fed and its dishonest money printing, money loaning huge, vast amounts of money to BlackRock so BlackRock can buy up assets. And then what? They're not loaning it to everyday people. I tried getting a loan at one point for a house, and I got told that my debt to income, or not my debt to income, what was it? They said that because I didn't have a big enough income at the time, they didn't value that as loan worthy. I don't really use credit anymore. Do I have a credit card? Yeah, I have a credit card, but I don't really use a lot of credit. Now, when I ask them, I have a safety deposit box and I have valuable coins in it. Can I use gold and silver as collateral? And they said, no, we don't count that as collateral. And it's kind of funny because you would think they would because they know the value of it. But the truth of the matter is they don't want your money in that form. They don't want to assist that type of behavior. That's why it's kind of shunned upon. Stacking gold, man, take that tinfoil hat off. Another tinfoil hat nut job buying gold and silver, thinking the greatest country in the world, the dollar, could collapse. A lot of people don't realize how quick it can happen. And eventually, I believe these 100 countries are all in agreement still. Even though they haven't pulled the trigger yet, we're seeing the cracks in the system. The petrodollar that everybody said would never end because they get too much money from us by taking dollars. Well, now they've cut out the middleman. They don't need the dollar. So if China wants oil, why have a middleman? That's why I've said time and time again, when you work in a group or you have a group of friends that are all stackers, I don't need to sell my silver to a dealer. I don't need to buy my silver from a dealer because there's always going to be someone that needs a little money, especially if you're willing to spread yourself a little more thin than the average person. I'll go a little more thin because I know I will have no problem turning over some of these ounces to a friend. And in some cases, hey, look, you just need it for a week. I'll tell you what, just give me the ounces, give me my money back in a week, and I'll give you your silver back, and I'll take you, and you take me to lunch. I've done that more times than I know of. And it's a good deal. I didn't make no money. He didn't make no money. I treated him to lunch. We worked it out amongst ourselves. If I couldn't pay him back at a certain time, he got to keep the ounces. But it wasn't like I was really out any astronomical amount of money. I actually had someone send me an email today asking me what I thought about $15 silver. And it was $15 silver and astronomically cheap gold at like $800 or $900, I think it was, an ounce. And I said, and as I'm reading it, the first thing I said was fake, fake, fake. And he said, but before you say fake, it's not fake. I took it to the coin shop. They tested it, and he sold some to them. And so he knew it had to be real. A coin shop ain't going to take, a knowledgeable coin shop is not going to take fake metals. So he wanted to know what my thoughts and if I ever run across deals like that. I don't run across deals like that. When I say I picked up some cheap silver, that means I picked up silver at spot price. And in some cases, a little bit under spot because it's from someone that just had a bunch of these, a bunch of junk silver, and someone close to them passed away and they didn't want it. And I tell them what it's worth, and they're like, how do I get that? And I said, well, you got to look around a little bit. Most companies are going to take a commission. I said, but if you want to sell it to me, I'll take it and I'll pay you XYZ, which is usually in that case a little bit under spot. They're not a collector. They're not in my trade group. And therefore, I don't always extend the same, I guess, privileges that I would extend to people that are in my group or people that watch the channel or something like that. So to see something like that is astronomical. But where I'm going more with this, as I get off topic, I apologize, is how quick do you think things will happen? People have this belief that, when I really see the writing on the wall, that's when I'm going to start stacking. Or I'm going to keep putting it off until the price comes down. And if things get really bad, then maybe I'll break down and buy some at the high price. First of all, I don't think gold and silver price right now is high at all. I think at $29 an ounce for silver, I think that is an absolute steal. Now, will I run out and put every dollar into it at that price because I say it's a steal? No. I still buy modestly. I still try to budget and get a certain amount. I've since loosened up a little bit on my stacking and maybe treated myself a little bit more. When you guys see some of them short videos and you see me going out to eat, or you see me cooking a steak and lobster at home, those are signs of me loosening up a little bit, because society is starting to tighten up. They're starting to now tighten their belt a little bit. Why? Because things are getting tighter. Now, when everybody is tight, I probably won't be as tight, because I know everything that I want will be on sale. You know, I remember 2008 when 2008 happened, and everything that I wanted was on sale. I was buying collectible collections left and right cheap, while everybody else was just struggling to make ends meet. You know, and that happened quick too. But I think the fall of the dollar, and when I say fall, I don't mean worthless. I don't think the dollar is literally going to go to zero where you can't use it for anything anytime soon. But I do think, can you imagine what a 50% cut in the dollar would do? So imagine this dollar right here. Today, it buys you, well, I'm going to say, think about what you can buy today for $1, which is really a really bad analogy, because $1, I can't really think of anything. I used to be able to say I could buy a can of soda for $1 at a store, but now I can't even really do that. But can you imagine if the price of everything overnight doubled? And I mean overnight. I don't mean in a month. I don't mean in a couple weeks. Can you imagine waking up tomorrow, you getting ready to go to work, you're on your way to work, you drive by the gas station, and the gas literally says $6 a gallon. You're going to think that's a mistake. You're going to be like, what the heck? And it's only going to be in the gas at first. You won't see it in the store right off. Why? People that are in charge of prices at the store, they haven't even came in yet. But the gas, usually that gets reflected fairly quick. And then all of a sudden you go to work. And then you're at work, you're at your desk, someone comes in your office and says, hey, have you seen the stock market today? Man, talk about a dip. I'm thinking about trying to move some money around to buy the dip. You turn on the stock market and it is collapsed. You go and you check your 401k and it's collapsing. You go and you check your crypto account. Bye-bye. I mean, I can tell you my crypto account, I don't have a whole lot anymore because I sold everything out like 2 weeks ago roughly. But then I said, you know what? After that big hit, I'm going to put $5,000 back in. And I put $5,000 back in only to have it lose 20% in one day. And now it's just sitting there at that 80% level. You know, am I upset about it? Yeah, I mean, it stings to lose $1,121 in a day. However, that doesn't happen with gold and silver, though, in my opinion. Why? Because I ain't selling it. And someone can make the argument, well, you're not selling your crypto either. If the crypto goes up, I sell it. That's why I just took out such a big chunk out of it, because it had gone up so much and I wanted to get out before anything bad happens. Unfortunately, I got greedy and put another $5,000 in. There's a lot of people that are putting a lot of money in right now. But here's the thing. It can continue to fall. We could see drastic losses in one day. And once it hits mainstream media, you're not going to be able to hide that. And then everybody is going to want to know, where's the nearest place I can buy gold and silver? They're going to look online. A lot of dealers may temporarily close. And if you think that won't happen, take a look at some of the stuff that was happening in 2011. Take a look what some of the stuff that was happening during cough cough. You know, during cough cough, dealers just closed. Yeah, coin shops might have stayed open, but they weren't selling anything. I remember going to a coin shop and they said, dude, have you looked online? I said, no, what's happening? I know the price is down. They go, yeah, in places like AppMax, closed, JM Bullion, closed. All your big dealers closed. They're not going to give it away if the price plunges. And yes, the price did plunge at first because of paper trading. It didn't take long before the price skyrocketed back up into all new highs. Once that happens, you're not going to be able to get any. And the premiums, if you can, how many people know what an American Silver Eagle, this is crazy, was selling for during 2011? Spot price at its high was $50.50 with a close of $49.80. However, an Eagle was selling for over $70. That's right, a $20-something premium. That's how quick things can change. And these people that think that they can time it and maybe get in at the last minute, that's why I say, get a little bit under your belt now. If you don't have any, put a little together. If you've been buying for a while, and you have some already set aside, you're going to be okay. I hear people always say, how much silver do I need? How much silver or gold do I need? That's going to be a different number for everybody. And it's going to, what defines as need? The average person doesn't need 2 cars. The average person doesn't need a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house when it's just him and his wife. What we need and what we want are 2 different things. What do you consider a need when it comes to stacking precious metals? If everything collapsed tomorrow, look at Venezuela, look at Zimbabwe, Cyprus, any of these places, Libya, that have collapsed. An ounce of silver will buy you a week's groceries. Think about that. Today's term, an ounce of silver, $31. You ain't buying a week's groceries with $31. In any of them countries, an ounce of silver will buy you a week's groceries. I don't care if someone wants to write in the comment, that's not true. I'm going to say, do your homework and look up what's been going on down there in those places. And you're going to find out that silver and $100, well, this is the second part of this is a little bit of a bad example, but you're going to find out silver and $100 bills are what they want. Now, someone might say, why $100 bills? Because as of when this stuff's happening, the dollar bill hasn't collapsed yet. People still foresee it in a lot of countries as a safe haven, but that's slowly going away. But they recognize silver. Well, what about Bitcoin and gold? Well, here's the thing. With Bitcoin, how much groceries can you get with a Bitcoin? How much cash are they going to give you right then and there with a Bitcoin? They don't want it. They don't want it. And gold, it's too expensive. Not many people have it. I barely know people that can afford an ounce of gold right now in my own little circles. That's why when I do see a good deal on gold, I snap it up. Because I know, well, you pick up an ounce of gold at spot price or $50 back even, that's a pretty good deal. And, to find some insane price, I don't know how someone could even pick up a deal like that, $15 silver. Anybody that's been stacking silver for a long period of time realizes that it's wealth. Maybe you want to say you've been brainwashed. Maybe you want to say you've been educated. Maybe you want to say that tinfoil hat's a little too tight. But no matter what it is, you recognize the value of gold and silver. If you've been truly stacking it, then you're already in it. And you ain't letting it go for $15 an ounce. You might let it go for $28. I've known people that have been in a bind and had sell it for $27, $28. I find it interesting that people just don't see how quick things can collapse when they start going downhill. And I think when you realize that your time is more limited than you think. And what I mean by that is when the price starts jumping, you may totally miss the opportunity. Think of all those people that were waiting when it was $2,000 gold and they were waiting for it to go back to $1,800 before they start buying again. All of a sudden, boom, $2,400. You think we're going back to 2000? I don't. Could it happen on paper? Yeah, someone could put out a gazillion short positions tomorrow on paper and plunge the price all the way down to nothing, but no one's going to be selling it for nothing. This ain't oil. Remember what happened with oil when we'd pay you $40 to take a barrel of oil? Negative $40. You think that's going to happen with gold? No. People don't see how quick the system can crumble. And once you realize that gives you all the more reason to want to stack precious metals. Have it spread out. I had someone give me a hard time the other day because I was talking to them about my storage unit. I didn't say where my storage unit was. I didn't say what number it was. Well, I understand storage units can get broken into. Hopefully you're smart enough to hide it in a storage unit if you have it there. I've had some people say, will you do a full stack video? It would be too difficult for me to do a full stack video with stuff stored in multiple locations. A lot of people are just going to miss out. I had a girl ask me one day, what's going to happen to like my parents who don't know anything about this? This was just a lady that I dated. She got into it. She now stacks. What's going to happen to them people? They're going to be left out. They're going to be dependent on somebody helping them. And everybody is going to be hurting. That's why I say start stacking now. That's going to conclude it. 20 minutes. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you made it this far, I love reading y'all's comments. And let me know. I mean, how quick do you think things could break down once it starts breaking down? Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.